Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to my bookish life. Today I am doing my reading check-in for January 13th through 19th. So let's get to it. At my last check-in for the month, I was at 6 books in the month of January. Now I have read 3 more books and I am in the middle of 2, and I kind of just started a third one. Let's talk about the books I finished. The first one that I finished is on my Kindle. I finished A Cross Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh, and this book is adorable. It was on my 12 by 12 books recommended by 12 friends list that I put out on Instagram, and it was recommended by Christine and Emily. They're a mother-daughter duo that are at the Instagram handle Books by the Quote. And they're a joy. They're just a joy to chat books with. It has been on my list for a while to read because I've heard so many wonderful things about it. And it is wonderful. Lauren and Will are the 2 main characters. This is a romance, so you know at the end, Lauren and Will are endgame, right? And Lauren drove me a little crazy sometimes, okay? She jumped to conclusions a lot. She just didn't really listen or pay attention to what was going on around her a lot. And it was very aggravating how she treated Will like he couldn't change from the time when he was in high school. And Lauren has had a crush on Will since she met him when she was like, I don't know, 5. Probably 13. But she had a crush on him. Something happened when she was a freshman in college. Something happened between them, and it caused a rift. And she's kind of held that over him for the longest time, but never has had a conversation with him to clear any kind of air. So she just hates him and takes everything out on him the whole time. And that got a little aggravating. In fact, I gave this 4 stars, and I think that's why. Lauren's treatment of Will drove me crazy in a lot of instances. But Will is the sunshiny, Christmas-loving character that I just wanted in my life. I love Will so much. I need more Will in my life. He's great. He's great. He's a great character. He is a character that saw flaws in himself and worked hard to be a better person, and I loved it. I loved that part of the book. So, although Lauren Lowe really took away some enjoyment for me, I still really enjoyed this book. And then the second book that I finished was for my In Real Life book club, The 100 Years of Lenny and Margot by Marianne Cronin. This book was actually gifted to me by Krista from Books and Jams. She read and loved this book, and I gotta say, this is my first 5-star of 2024. I loved this book. It was heartbreaking and tragic and beautiful and hopeful. It was not the consensus at book club, but I felt like it was very hopeful. I can see why the dissenters of my opinion felt the way that she felt, but I loved this book. I love the found family. I love the friendships. It was gorgeous and beautiful. This book is obviously about Lenny and Margot. Lenny is 17, Margot is 83. They are both living on the terminal ward of the hospital. When they meet in the hospital art room, they realize that together they have lived 100 years, and they decide to embark on a project to create 100 pictures, one for every year that they've been alive. So they tell 100 stories of their lives and create a painting for each of those stories. And it is it's so beautiful, so well done. And I loved every second of it. I bawled my eyes out in the middle of the library as I was finishing this on Thursday before book club, and I don't regret it. There's going to be trigger warnings in here, so look into that if you need. Yesterday I was going through my book bag and I looked at my library books, and I realized that I needed to finish this book and get it back to the library because I've had it for a while and it's really short, and there's literally no excuse for me to have this book and hog this book as long as I have been without reading it. So I read The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbe, adapted by Salva Rubio as a graphic novel. The illustrations in here are beautiful, and let me tell you, they are absolutely graphic. It shows stuff, okay? So be aware, this is definitely a young adult book. This is not for the hands of, young children looking for a fun graphic novel. This is not. This is absolutely a beautiful story of love and survival and perseverance in great adversity. Dita is the main character, and Dita Kraus is a real person. This book is based on her life. It is absolutely fictionalized, but based on the true story of her life. And she is 14 years old and is living in Auschwitz in the bougie part, meant to show everybody that concentration camps treat people humanely and wonderfully and all these things, and total lies. But she is in charge of keeping the books that have illegally been hoarded by the residents of Auschwitz. The sentiment that books are illegal because books allow you to become smarter and know things. I mean, oh man, I did enjoy this. I was so intrigued by this story. However, I don't feel like this book satisfied the intrigue that I felt going into the story. I really just wanted all of the stuff that was left out. The original novel, The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbe, is 450 pages. Or it's upwards of 400 pages. This is 120 pages, 140 pages with all of the information that's in the back. 400 plus pages cannot be condensed into 120 pages without taking stuff out. And I felt the skips that this book was taking as I was reading it, and I just wanted the stuff that was left out. In other news, I started The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbe. The novel. I finished the graphic novel and I started reading the original novel. Because here's the thing. I love that these are becoming a thing because reluctant readers gravitate towards these graphic novels. Hope is to intrigue you to want to read the original novel because obviously it's not the full novel. It can't be. However, my fear with this trend is that readers stop at the graphic novel and say, okay, cool, I got the whole story. Because they didn't. they didn't get the whole story. So my sincere hope is that upon reading something like this, you're intrigued enough to read the next part, the rest of the story that didn't fit in 120 pages. And I think that's the aim of these books. I hope that's the aim of these books. Because if it isn't, I feel like it's a disservice to the original material. So that's the end of that soapbox. I started reading the novel because I want it all. I just do. In terms of other things that I'm reading, I'm still buddy reading The Sugar Queen by Sarah Addison Allen with Destiny. We kind of needed to take a break because I was reading The 100 Years of Lenny and Margot. So we took a little pause. So we didn't read as much last week as I would have liked because I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of twisty and there's so much magic in the book. It's really it's cute so far. I'm really enjoying it. And I don't know if cute is the right word. In terms of the subject material, it's actually kind of intense. There's a lot of stuff in there. I definitely think that I'm going to like it. I just don't think that it's to the level of enjoyment that I had for The Other Birds and The Peach Keeper by Sarah Addison Allen. However, I am really excited to dig back into that. We're about 50% in. Also, I am listening to the best motivational speeches of all times. It's a compilation of different celebrities giving. So far, they've all been graduation speeches. So I don't know if they're all graduation speeches, but so far, every speech that I've listened to has been a graduation speech. This is an Audible original. I don't think you can find it anywhere in print. I'm really enjoying these speeches. They are so wonderful and uplifting to listen to. So far, I have listened to Bill Gates, Rick Rigsby, Denzel Washington, and Jim Carrey. Rick Rigsby, no idea who this man is, but man alive, I'm going to listen to that speech again. Many times. I was listening to Rick Rigsby's speech on the way to work, and I was bawling by the time I got to work. It was phenomenal. He talks about how the best advice he ever received was from a third grade dropout. His father left school in third grade and spent his life persevering through challenge after challenge and taught his children to be the best people that they could be. And I'm tearing up just thinking about this. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. That speech alone, I am so glad that I listened to. Denzel Washington's speech I also thought was very good and very funny, humorous. Bill Gates, I really enjoyed his speech as well. Jim Carrey's speech didn't really hit right for me. I don't know if I felt like he was trying to be too funny and it didn't balance well with the serious message he was trying to convey, but I enjoyed it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as the other ones so far. I'm really looking forward to continuing listening to that. As I said before, it's just been really uplifting and I've really enjoyed it. So let me know what you think of any of these books. Have you read any of these books? Have you added any of these books to your TBR? Based on my enjoyment of these books, are there other books that I should be picking up? Let me know down in the comments. I have loved all of the conversation that is happening with these weekly check-ins. It is it's just been going so well. I've really enjoyed doing them, and I've really enjoyed all of the conversation I've been having down in the comments. Commenting, liking, and subscribing really helps my channel grow, and I so appreciate it. That is all I have for you for today. I hope you're finding something wonderful to read, and until next time, happy reading. Bye!